Hi guys, I hope you are doing well today. I am checking roots on Conophytum that have been potted up in a pumice mixture all together after importing them some number of months ago, quite a few months ago, and I am ready to check their roots and see if we are going in the right direction or needing to take cuttings. These guys haven't had as sad of a life as the other ones I was doing cuttings with, so I'm hoping that their roots are on the rise. Yep, we're looking great here. Can't tell if the light hurts or helps you guys, but all the places where they're attached to pumice, I don't know if I can do this a little over here. Maybe you can see a little better. But all of this being attached to the pumice is fantastic. That's all new root growth. And for this little cluster, I am actually, well, all of these guys are getting repotted today or made into cuttings or whatever needs to be done. But I am potting them up in plastic. These guys like a bit more water, and for me, I am just too much of an underwaterer. To keep up with the clay right now. And like I've said in other videos, I pretty much always start with the clay. Sorry, I filled that in too much. I pretty much always start with clay with new, especially imported plants, just because I feel better, especially in the winter months, which these I didn't get in the winter months. But I also like to pot them all together, and these large, you know, clay pots that are glazed are totally fine. But as far as individual pots, I always put them in, if they're individually planted, I put them in clay pots first, usually, until I get kind of the feel of how often they like to be watered, and just kind of what their nature is, so to speak. It is amazing. I'm just using this butter knife to lift up these guys and add a little bit more of this pumice mixture over here. It is amazing what these guys will teach you if you will listen to them and look for their signs and really pay attention, how much you can learn about what they want and don't want that no book can teach you, because they're living beings and they're all a bit different. Not that books and learning that way isn't fantastic. It's absolutely amazing. I'm a total research geek, but this guy is all potted up and happy, and he's gonna get a good watering. Probably not today. I will let their roots rest just a little bit when you repot. Oops, and I'm forgetting his tag. When you repot anything, having a little bit of a rest period for their roots to scab off, in human terms, or harden off, dry out. It helps. It's just like a wound. It's like getting a scab on a wound, so that any bacteria or fungus in the soil isn't going to go directly into their system and be a lot more likely to cause rot. So just be aware of that when you repot, especially with precious / sensitive guys like these. All right, this guy has had just a hard time, and so I'm very interested to see. He's just was shriveled, and just looked like he was not going to make it at all for a really long time. And just the last month, he has started plumping up, and so yay! Look, oh my goodness, look at that amazing root system. This guy was like, had no roots that looked viable at all, and took months and months and months. And he was one that I had earmarked for probably needing to do a cutting with. But yay, no cutting needed. He was great. This is quite a little root system for a little pot like this. But I am going to go ahead and the round ones are just a little bit bigger, so I'm going to use a round plastic pot for this guy. And these guys do enjoy being together when they're rooting, especially. They always like being together. They share rooting hormone and other things and communicate with each other. But especially when they're rooting, they like being together. And grouping them in a pot like this really probably isn't close enough for them to share a ton of rooting hormone, but I figure it doesn't hurt to give them a little closer proximity than potting them all individually right from the start. So I generally have a communal pot until they get established. And what did I do with his tag? Here we go. And so this guy is a Bilobum. His tag is a little blurry there. I need to rewrite these tags. I couldn't find all of my plant tags the day that I potted these up, and so they all have popsicle sticks written in them, and I have so many plant tags, it's hilarious that I couldn't find any. But such goes life. All right, I'm going to pull out this middle guy here and see how he's doing. And you never know how big the root system is, so I'm just going around. If they don't come out super, super easily, I just try and have a wide berth and check. Oh my goodness. Look at this root. Oh my goodness. Look at that root cluster. That is so fantastic. This guy had almost no, it had one little bit of dried up roots. So yay. This guy is going in a 4-inch pot. And I use a lot more of a pumice heavy mixture when I'm first rooting them. Even though they like moisture, it just allows me to mist them and water them a lot more while I'm trying to get them to root and wake up from importing them, etc. Instead of having a mixture that retains more water when I can't know how fast it's going to grow, dry out. I can't know how much water they're going to need yet because I'm not familiar with the plant yet. And so I like to err on the side of dry until I get the hang of these guys. And then I start treating them a little more normally. So there's that cluster. These guys are also a Bilobum, Bilobum nellianum. I'll just show you the tag here. I just shortened Bilobum so that I could fit it all on this tag. Van Donkelar. I'm not even sure how you pronounce that. It's also a Bilobum. Spring Bookends. I'm not even sure how you pronounce that. I haven't found this word, the pronunciation for this word, but the cultivar is, I don't think that's showing up. Sorry, guys. This is the cultivar that I was trying to pronounce there. So who knows? Alrighty. Let's see how this guy's doing. He's doing good. Lots of new white root growth attaching to the pumice here. If you haven't seen my video where I did the other cuttings, where I was pulling them out and it was showing what they look like when they haven't rooted at all, do check that out because it's quite a difference. And it's kind of fun to see. A few of these pots I have moss in the bottom and I don't want that with these guys. These guys can be really susceptible to fungal and bacterial infections, and ornamental mosses can tend to have a lot of fungal spores in them a lot of times. So avoiding decorative mosses around these guys can be wise. Most of them are treated, especially the ones that are dyed and stuff like that are treated, but still better safe than sorry. Alrighty. Number 5. This is also a Belobum. This whole pot may be, no, not quite. Oh, the first one wasn't either, was it? Actually, yeah, I think the first one was too. There's a lot of variation in the Belobum. Can't tell if the light is helping or hurting on these ones, but you can see a lot of the Belobum have the very distinct, wow, my brain is just blanking out on all of the names for the pieces and parts of these guys suddenly. But the deeper fissures here in the leaves, the deeper splits, but not all. That's not necessarily a something. It does make some of the varieties pretty easily recognizable, but some of them don't follow those guys. This one was pretty iffy for me too, but look at that. Look at that fantastic root system. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. I think this guy's a little too big of a root system to go in a 2-inch pot, which is fantastic. So I'm going to put him in a larger pot. I don't have very many good 3-inch plastic pots right now that I could find that aren't buried somewhere out in the snow and the weather. Oops, I added too much of that. I forgot what a big root system this guy has. And when you're very gingerly just pulling them out of a really loose mix like this pumice and potting them up like this, as long as you're not knocking dirt off the roots or the pumice off the roots, etc., you could really water these right away if you wanted to, but there's no reason to. You might as well, just in case there's a couple roots that got damaged, let them dry out for a few days to a week, depending. And these guys I made sure and watered really well about 2 days before I knew I was going to do this, so that they're plump and not going to be easily stressed just because they're moving. Another Belobum. Onferum. Oh, where's my knife? Let's see what this guy's roots look like. Not quite as big, but still looking great. Oh, that is fantastic. Look at that lovely, lovely ball. These roots are so white, you guys, and so hairy, just reaching out in all directions. Those lovely little root hairs. Exactly what we want to see. And I'm sorry, I know the light is not ideal. Here, I will try and show you these guys. And you've seen them in other videos. I'm just was wanting you guys to get a little peek. Take a little bit of this out and add it to my bowl here. Like I said, I start out with almost entirely pumice, really loose, and then I'm adding a little bit of another mix to it that is not quite as loose. So just a little bit more coconut husk, a little bit of perlite, and actually no perlite in this, but pumice, a little bit of sand, and a few other ingredients, which again, if you would like to know more about what I use to pot them up, I have videos on that. This plastic pot, as I mentioned in a couple other videos where I've shown these colored little plastic pots that I have, are made out of compostable, biodegradable, I think plant cellulose. And so far, they've been great. My husband found them at a Goodwill or, you know, a used store of some variety, a whole stack of them for really cheap, and thought I might enjoy them. And I definitely do. I don't know exactly how long they'll hold up since they're biodegradable, but so far, you know, I have them going a year and better that are doing great. And it's kind of fun to have some color. They seem to breathe a little bit more than most plastic and be a little bit more like terracotta in that way. So I have to watch them a little bit more and water them a little bit more, but that's all right. They're pretty great. All right. final one here. This one's a Conophytum latum, L-A-T-U-M, and this is one of my, I just love this variety. They're such fat, happy hearts, and they just make me smile. Wow, look at that root system. Look at that. It only has 5 heads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. And this guy, as you can see has some pretty significant wounds here. I did another video on him when I first got him. It looked like he got cut with a box cutter. And but he has not gotten infected at all. Almost every single head. There are only 2 heads. Actually, this guy was significantly damaged also. Oops, the light is really glaring. Okay, that's not working. I'm going to spin the light around here for just a minute and see if this will focus for me. Yes, you can see this here. These really big cuts, and when you do something like this, which I didn't do it came this way, but it's really easy to get infected. This one didn't have a cut, but it had a really bad sunburn / damage spot. The only 2 that weren't badly cut were these 2 here, but this guy was split down at the base before I got him from, and so this cluster was just a little bit sad, but look at that amazing, amazing new root system. So we are good, and I lost my last pot. I'm missing one more pot. I think one of these guys was too big and I poked him in a bigger pot. So I'm gonna have to go find that. All right, I am gonna have to go find that. I'm just gonna pot this up after I close. You guys don't need to see me put one more thing in front of you today, but since the light is moved, I thought the light would help, but I'm gonna show you these guys without the light glaring, just in case you can see them a little bit better. And like I said, in a few days, these guys will all get another good watering. Keep those root systems going. These guys, and the last final cluster, if I can get it in here. These guys. Alrighty, that was better than I expected. I thought I was gonna have to do cuttings on a couple more, and all of these guys are doing great, so yay. Alrighty, that's it for today. If you would like to join our Facebook group, please do so. A link to it is in the description box of this video, and we share a lot more photos there, and people post, and it's a lot of fun to see everyone's babies. There's a lot of really cool plants, which is just a lot of fun to see. So if you would like to join, please do that, and until later, have a fantastic day and happy growing.